I think climate change is a very difficult thing for many people to grasp for a number of reasons. It involves energy. Fossil fuels have been what we've based the modern economy on for the last 100, 200 years. If you also look at climate change as a problem, it has, you need to have the solutions here and now, but the impacts of climate change are wider and everywhere and in the future. So you have hotter hot days. You have perhaps more rainfall in certain places. Other places you'll have less rainfall. You have more intense tropical storms. And you just have more intense weather in general that can cause a lot of problems, just not the rising sea level that we hear about the most. I think a lot of what needs to happen in the future is really based on innovation. There's some really smart minds in the world who are out there looking for the technological solutions that will help us change our energy system. And as those technologies improve, as they get less expensive, as we perhaps price the externality of carbon emissions and the problems that they're causing, these will become economic and unstoppable. That's the force that will solve the climate problem. The most innovative idea is a difficult question, but I will point out something that I think is really important. In my studying of energy years ago and how energy markets work, we focused a lot on the issue of storage. Why is electricity different than other markets? And the answer is really storage. You can't economically store electricity easily. And that's why the intermittency of many renewable sources like wind and solar are a challenge, because you only get them when it's sunny or windy. Everything from improved solar and wind technology to better battery storage to make solar and wind technology more available at all times, to more efficient and less expensive electric vehicles so we can get away from fossil fuel combustion. There are a lot of smart minds working on this in various ways: geothermal storage, battery storage. This is the technology that could really change the way renewables fit into our energy system, making them more reliable and more economical. If you look at the developing world, they say, you guys created this problem with your development in your fossil fuels, and you can pay to fix it. Whereas if you talk to folks in the developed world, they, and correctly, say, but we can't afford for the developing world to develop the way we did. The Earth can't handle that. And the truth is, both of these sides are correct. Any solution to the climate problem that ignores the billion people in the world who don't have access to modern energy services is not a solution at all. And so this is a problem that we need to deal with from both sides. While both sides have valid arguments, the world doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the world. I think that the developing countries can really be laboratories of innovation in certain ways, because they don't have the level of infrastructure in place that more developed countries do. And if you're in a rural village bringing in diesel fuel to run a generator, that's quite expensive, and there's a lot of room there, cost-wise, to bring in a solar system with a battery to serve the same function. And so they can really be laboratories where you try out new technologies and make things better, because they're already dealing with very high-cost, very inefficient energy. It's difficult to say. I think the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement are entirely the right direction to go. I think the world is committed to going in that direction. A lot of energy people have said to me that Paris answered the question of if. Clearly we're going to do this, and now we still have questions of how. So I don't think it's just writing on the page. It's really time for governments, for subnational entities and governments, for businesses to start to develop the technologies that we'll need to actually meet those goals. It's time now to go down at the implementation level and work on individual solutions that work in individual places. I think the how of dealing with climate change is something that we're working out every day. Everything from the everyday actions of billions of people to what's happening in a lab in a university somewhere. People are not willing to accept a complete change in their standard of living, but there are certain decisions that we all make every day that we could make more efficient ones. There have been some interesting studies done on trying to change people's behavior with respect to energy use. use. And one way that really works is to make it a game or a comparison among people. People want to be better than their peers. Obviously you or me or a few other people don't make a ton of difference, but as societies, if societies change the way they view energy use or view the way they view cars that people drive, that could actually make a difference.